Hello and welcome to my new series, Gaming Abridged, where I play through games with live commentary and condense the footage down to the essentials. My name is WWDadmin, but you already know that, and today we're starting off by abridging one of my old Let's Play series, Metro 2033. This is mainly to make sure I have all my playthroughs of the series condensed down like this before doing the most recent installment in the series, Metro Exodus. So expect the other two games soon. Now, my original playthrough of 2033 is from all the way back in 2012, so any footage from that playthrough will not be up to par with my current quality standards. Therefore, I will also use footage of Metro 2033 Redux here, as I played through that more recently on stream. So the footage is just straight up better. After listening to Artjom giving us the setting, a post-nuclear war Moscow, where people live in the metro to stay away from the radiation, we start the game climbing up towards the surface with Miller. We put on a gas mask to be able to survive up there and get attacked by mutant creatures.
What the fuck is that?
That we will later learn to be known as Nosalis. We shoot our way through and meet up with some people outside when a pack of Nosalis attacks and knocks us down. A second type of mutant creature known as Demon attacks from the sky, and we go to the cliché 8 days earlier screen. We wake up and get to experience NPC syndrome as the guy escorting us to meet a man called Hunter walks at around half our own walking speed. Please stop having NPC syndrome.
Let's see what Hunter says.
It's really annoying. Like, you're slower than I am when I'm crouching. We talk to Hunter and Nosalises come in through the vents and we shoot them. Then the others discuss the Dark Ones, apparently a mutated intelligent species with supernatural powers. A guy comes running in yelling about the Dark Ones destroying an outpost, so we go check and only find half dead people. Hunter tells us to go to Polis and find Miller if he isn't back in the evening. The next day we make our way to the Armory to pick up the Bastard, a gun they literally made in the Armory that has poor accuracy and overheats like hell.
It's got poor accuracy and overheats like hell. That's why they call it a bastard gun.
As well as some ammo, a charger for a flashlight, a gas mask and some filters, and of course some medkits. Now, the ammo that they give us to shoot with is made in the Armory as well, and of low quality. Military grade rounds are used as a currency here instead. You can use them and they do way more damage, but you'd literally be shooting your money if you used them. We get on a makeshift cart towards Riga, and with that we're off. On the way to Riga we are stopped and told to take a side tunnel because the main tunnel collapsed. That tunnel proves to be dark and filled with shadowy figures I can only describe as ghosts. Suddenly, the other three in the cart start fainting as a giant ball of light shows up behind us. We wide out and have a vision of Hunter and the Dark One.
Hi there.
We wake back up and can finally get out of that tunnel while being chased by Nosalises. We get handed a shotgun, which is garbage since it needs to be reloaded for ages after every second shot.
Artjom, it's gonna get me!
That shotgun is shit! Someone told you already?
We get thrown off the cart by one of the Nosalises, chase after it, and then reach a roadblock that has a flamethrower set up to grill a few of the Nosalises that were coming behind us. We follow Kid, who amazingly is the only NPC in this game to not have NPC syndrome, and meet a guy called Burbon, who promises us his AK if we accompany him to Dry Station. We follow him into the tunnels, with him exhibiting NPC syndrome up until we get to the part where we can shoot again. We get to a bandit hideout, try to sneak in, but fail.
Any crunch or crackle give you away. Oh, a Tripwire. An excellent.
You didn't
Okay, don't step on glass.
Tripwire. An excellent way to get rid of the blind and daredevils. You get what to do?
What the hell was that?
and have a shootout with the bandits. After rambling our way through, we get attacked by Nosalis again. Unfortunately, the shotguns are the most efficient way of fighting mutants, so the garbage double barrel is the best way we have right now. At this point in the Redux version, I figure out that the game doesn't properly lock the cursor to the game, making me able to accidentally click stuff on my second screen. This is obviously not a problem I had with the original game, as I didn't use multiple monitors back then. However, A4 Games, the developers, have still not figured out how to properly program a game to not spill the cursor to the secondary monitor, as Metro Exodus, the latest installment, still has this issue. Seriously, what the fuck? But let's not rant on too long here. I fixed that on every single one of the Metro games I played with a multi-screen setup with a program called Cursor Lock. Anyway, after fighting off another wave of Nosalis, we hide from a Hansa patrol and keep fighting through the tunnels. We get to the Lost Catacombs, where we suddenly get a vision again. This time, we get pulled into a red void that kills us in real life if we get sucked in. We get through the gate in the vision, and with that through the gate in real life, and we arrive at the market. The welcome is very much a friendly one. Or? Can I do squats? And we get new gear and upgrade a few things before leaving again to continue our journey. We go up to the surface and immediately need to hide from a demon.
Some people call these demons, I call them bitches.
Burbon jumps over a gap and we don't make it, so we get separated. Now, on my first playthrough, this is where I got horribly lost, and would totally have been Nosalis food if this was real life. Eventually I did find my way though, and on my second playthrough I actually played it as a stealth part as intended. So unlike on my first playthrough, I'm just gonna shoot if I need to shoot. On the way through, we get ghost whispering, and visions, sniper kills, and jump scares, as well as a fight against a demon, but eventually meet Burbon again and continue to Dry Station. On my second playthrough, the demons that came in towards the end of this section keep getting me before I could get to Burbon, which is totally well programmed and fair. And what's supposed to happen? Yeah, that's totally necessary. Keep on doing that. We enter Dry Station via the vents and do get Burbon's AK, as he leaves it with us when exiting the vent and getting captured. We try to sneak into the station, but ultimately end up rambling our way through. We also end up dying to a trap in my first playthrough.
Oh! What the fuck was that?
In the end, we find Burbon being held at gunpoint, and he uses the distraction to shoot the guy who captured him, while he also shoots Burbon, making both drop dead. At this point, a man named Kahn enters the scene through the ceiling vent. We follow Kahn into the tunnels, haunted tunnels this time apparently, as Kahn tells us to listen to the pipes and to keep the light on. Then this happens.
I'm not planning on turning off the light.
And look forward.
Turns out we needed to look past him though, so not as much freezing as I was doing. So yeah, as I said, haunted tunnels. Kahn tells us not to touch the silhouettes. I gladly do as I'm told, and we continue onwards, dodging a fucking ghost train on the way. At the end of the tunnel, Kahn gets us through a big group of ghosts.
Follow me, but remain at my back.
That's what I had in mind.
Castone lapio asterium manto. Castone lapio asterium manto. Alum ram. Castone lapio asterium manto. Castone lapio asterium alum ram. Castone lapio asterium manto.
We leave the creepy part behind us for now and concentrate on a door instead.
Concentrate.
On what exactly?
We fight some more Nosalis, cause holy crap, those are everywhere. Dodge an anomaly in the next tunnel before it fries a bunch of Nosalis.
Oh, thanks for handling that.
Then we get on a railcut to speed up the journey a bit. We arrive at Cursed Station and help fend off some Nosalis by blowing up 2 tunnels leading in. On my first playthrough, I totally didn't find the second tunnel for a good while. Thanks to the tunnels being closed now, we need to take a detour through the stations of the Reds and the Nazis to get to Polis. Kahn tells us to find his friend Andrew the Blacksmith.
Where's the blacksmith?
At Armory Station. We get into Armory, a free station that is under the control of the Reds really. Inspections are being carried out in here, which seem to be a really nice atmosphere to come into.
Prepare for inspection.
Oh, I'm always prepared for this. Doctor, could you check my prostate while you're at it? I'm pissing kind of funny. It's glowing. Must be the radiation, huh?
You freak!
Oh, hell. So, you kick the part that attracts you the most? Pretty weak, though. What, they don't feed you enough?
He's a fucking comedian, huh? Don't see many of those guys.
Try this on for size, you punk!
Oh, okay, that one was better. But I still think my grandmother could take you.
Let's bring him in. We'll see how his jokes sound at Lubyanka.
Also, we run right into that specific inspection cause Artjom is a fucking moron.
And who are you? The comedian's boyfriend? Put your hands out! You're under arrest.
The guy breaks us 3 though, and we run through the station. Quick note that this damage is literally impossible as I'm behind a wall and he's shooting past it. We eventually get rescued by Andrew the Blacksmith, and he gets us out of the station in the luggage hold of a train cart. There is a nice Easter egg in this scene, as the novel Metro 2033 that the game is based on is lying around in the luggage hold. In the Redux version, funnily enough, it's the sequel novel Metro 2034. On the way through the tunnels, we fall out of the luggage hold.
Stop singing! Ow! Fucking hell, what are you doing?
I have a deja vu. And now have to get through a war zone between the Reds and the Nazis into a Nazi station. On my first playthrough, I ramboed my way through, and on my Redux playthrough, I played as a stealth part as intended. We sneak under the bridge the fight takes place on and sneak into the station from underneath. In my initial playthrough, I eliminate the entire station single-handedly.
We've got a dead man here!
Yeah, me. In my Redux playthrough, I kept sneaking for the most part, but either way, we got captured by the Nazis in the end. As the Nazi has villain syndrome though, and has to talk for hours before killing somebody.
You know, one thing I like about the bad guys, there's always a lot of discussion before they get around to pulling the trigger.
We get rescued by soldiers from police who again have NPC syndrome on the way out to their armored cart. We get to man the turret and take out Nazis everywhere, including a tank. We switch carts, shoot ourselves through a supposedly deserted station. After that we roll through the depot where Nosalis drag my comrades off the cart while I almost get crushed under it on crashing. So I continue to watch Black Station alone. I get dragged into other people's problems as they get attacked by what seems to be Dark Ones. After that, Nosalises swarm in and we fight off wave after wave.
We're all dead men.
No, I'm the only dead man here.
Until another one of those power waves that I attributed to the Dark Ones earlier hits us. Only me and the commander seem to survive this at all. He gives me an emergency message for police and we continue onwards. Right into a nest of different mutants called lurkers that hide in holes in the walls and floor and attack very fast. You can also accidentally fall into their holes.
Excuse me?
On our way through, we find a kid next to his dead uncle and decide to bring him back to his station. We climb up a giant vent and get to the entry of his station where his mom is already trying to leave to search for him. We get told that the way to Black Station leads over the surface when new creatures have appeared.
New creatures have appeared there. Nazis. They built an outpost in the
So we stock up at the local market and head up to the surface. Right as we come out, we immediately encounter a group of them and for once shoot our way through in my Redux playthrough and sneak in my original playthrough, at least for a short time. We climb up to the street and shoot our way through an abandoned destroyed building and over a road with loads of abandoned cars.
Excuse me?
Into Black Station. The cutscene on entering the station was handled very differently between the original and the remake. The original switches to a cinematic cutscene. The Redux version has you stay in first-person perspective for the entire thing. The station is occupied by Nazis and we make good use of our night vision goggles and mostly snipe through in the original playthrough.
This bitch has killed one of us!
One?
While I choose to mostly sneak in the Redux playthrough, except for some quick snipes. At the end of the station, Ullman is waiting for us with a rail cart and we can finally get to Polis. Once we leave the station, we somehow get a vision of the Dark Ones talking to us through a barricaded cave exit of sorts, telling us that they mean no harm and wish to understand and help humanity. Nevertheless, the barricade explodes and we run for a station door while the Dark Ones whisper to us,
We want peace. But that's the only exit.
or we go towards the Dark Ones and see this nice scene.
Wicked phenomenon, yes? But, you know, it's not any more evil than, say, fire. It all depends on your point of view. Try to get a better understanding of things before you make your judgment. Let's move out now. It's not safe here.
We arrive at Polis and follow Ullman, who once again exhibits NPC syndrome, to meet Miller, and get hurt by the Council. The Council refuses to help our home station, but Miller tells us about a surefire way to get rid of the Dark Ones. There are missile silos all around the city that could be used for missile strikes, but they need to be controlled from the control center in a station called D6, which none of them know where it is. There is, however, a library on the surface that contains a secret military archive. Why ever they know that is not explained. So we set out to get to the library to find the documents about D6. Obviously there's a ton of Nosalis upstairs again, and we had to get over some thin ice to proceed, all while dodging demons. Also at one point a building fell on us. which I probably will pretty soon. Whoa! Really? Like, how are you supposed to know that that's gonna happen if you just wanna run through to make sure the mutants don't get you? Also, I don't know what exactly happened, but on my Redux playthrough, I felt like I skipped some sort of trigger for getting the other guys to come in front of the library, because a demon made me skip some part of the way by grabbing me. In the original playthrough, they were already there when I came to the library, so yeah, whatever happened there. Either way, we end up in front of the library, ready to head in. Upon entering, a demon attacks through the main entrance, so Danila and Miller stay there to hold the door while I try to get the door upstairs open. On the way through, we encounter some violent vegetation, but eventually we get the door open. We open another door by swinging a chandelier and find another new mutant. Miller tells us the librarian is one of the most dangerous creatures out there and that you can stare them down to make them not attack. We will figure out that that mechanic only works sometimes. Danila gets flung around by a demon, so Miller stays back with him, and I have to go through the librarians alone. So, on my first playthrough, I tried staring down a librarian. It worked once, I got killed another time. So, since they don't get hurt by bullets, shooting is not an option. Eventually I decide to just run for it and ignore the librarians on my way. And accidentally find the correct way through the library on my first try, only running in a circle once. Unlikely, sure, but I've had more unlikely things happen to me in games before. In the Redux playthrough, of course, I already remembered the way, so that was basically the same speed run through, cause I didn't even want to bother to try the stare down mechanic anymore. At the end of the part, a demon attacks the librarians and we fall down the elevator shaft. Underground, we continue running from librarians. You run through tables, that's not fair. Until we find the door to the archive, where we look through a few distinct drawers with no system whatsoever, only to then take the drawer saying D6. And take the files back outside, where the rangers are already waiting to pick us up and take us to the church where Kahn is waiting for us. We get to gear up for free, meet Kahn again, and Miller tells us that the way to D6 is in the documents we recovered. On the way, on a train, we get another vision about the Dark Ones, and we get to torch some Nosalises until an anomaly takes care of them. We arrive at the door to D6, and we suffer through Miller having NPC syndrome again.
Deeds await.
Great deeds? Somehow I'm not too enthusiastic about leaving my mark in history.
NPC syndrome. Isn't it great? Then we fix a door control, kill some more Nosalises. That's left. Wait for the guys to move. You guys coming?
I'll check it out.
And finally arrive at the door to D6. Wait, what? Didn't they already call the first door that? Whatever. We get separated from the rest and fight our way through more Nosalises in the original and through the spider-scorpion mutant thingies from Last Light in the Redux version. Why ever they changed that? We meet up again at the actual entrance to D6 and get on the train in. At D6 we explore a while to find the light switch, which turns out to be 4 switches we need to activate by hand. The original had this as a really stupid running around pressing everything multiple times part. Press. Yeah, it's already... Who? Come on! Make him as far as possible. There's a reason they are called first. What, again? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? And we take the elevator down to the lower levels. Down there we find the main control systems and realize the main reactor powering the facility is deactivated. And so we follow Miller down to the lowest level. Now, this part almost made me rage quit in the original playthrough. What we have to do here is get all the way around to the other side of this ring to the elevator shaft through tons of spawners for what I like calling Visceroids. After the mutated blobs in Command and Conquer, these thingies are giant amoebas which explode on contact. Now those alone wouldn't be the worst. In this mission you have to also make sure Miller survives. The problem with that is Miller in this mission is a slow ass big fucking wimp that can't defend himself against a few oversized single-celled organisms. God fucking damn it, Miller! Get your ass through this! Now, it would have been nice to get any indication that you can actually shoot the spawners to destroy them, or if Miller, that moron, would actually help you shoot the spawners, but eventually I got through on the original playthrough. Now, the Redux version seems to not have only changed the layout, where we go right instead of left upon entering this part, but generally made it easier to get through this and made Miller less of a useless crybaby. Either way, we find that what I'd definitely call a giant fucking visceroid, as in undefined biomass that moves, is blocking the reactor rods. We have to play the crane game for a bit, but eventually get the reactor going and head back up. With the 6 now functional, we can set out with a laser guidance system to aim the rockets we are going to launch at the Dark One's nest. We now skip back to the initial scene where Nosalises and demons attacked. Miller saves us from the demon we saw at the start, and we get to the tower, where we have to plant the laser guidance. We climb up, a demon attacks. Shouldn't be that much of a problem. Ah! Really? At one point a demon injures Miller, so we have to leave him behind, but eventually we get higher up on the tower. We hear the Dark Ones whisper again.
He's here. He brings death.
And get visions as we get closer.
Stop him. Destroy him.
But we set up the laser guidance on top of the tower anyway. And now the Dark Ones make us hallucinate a lot. Also, Redux seems to have bugged out here, I guess. Sorry, I guess I broke the game. Not that that's new in any way. Now, if you misstep, you just fall off the tower in real life. Either way, they make us balance out on a pole of sorts. And then we have to do a mind games maze where we have to run from Dark Ones trying to kill us. After that we have to do a platformer part with the environment literally appearing out of thin air right in front of us. At the end we get a gun and a repeat of a quote from Hunter from the start of the game saying, "If it's hostile, you kill it." Now, if you have the option for the alternate non-canon good ending by having a lot of good karma, which we really don't have and it's really hard to do, you can decide to not shoot and let the Dark Ones live. Now, we definitely don't have a lot of good karma, so we should, since the Dark Ones are indeed hostile to us at this moment. And we wake up from that dream sequence just in time to see the fireworks. This concludes the story of Metro 2033. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you like this new format. If you did, leave a like and a comment, subscribe and activate notifications to never miss an upload, and I will see you for Last Light and Exodus in a future video, as well as a bunch of other games, whether it's old LPs or completely new footage. My name is WWE Dadman, and I'll see you next time on Gaming Abridged.